Hello guys, welcome to Speaking English podcast. I'm your host Bella. I'm here to help you to improve your English listening and gain a new perspective of the world. Every episode I share with you motivating stories and fascinating facts about our planet, different countries and cultures, human brain and emotions. Here we talk about happiness, love, and friendship. This is not just a language podcast. It is a podcast about life, beautiful itself. So here we go, episode number 5. Very intriguing question we have. I believe that you will like it. And you will find a lot of new information for yourself. Definitely something to think about. And as always, it's an open discussion, guys. So please feel free to share with me your personal opinion and point of view. We are here not to play the black and white game or to say that's wrong or that's right. Rather, we are here to learn something new together. At the end of the day, you are the one who makes a decision. You know, guys, that I'm always encouraging you to have that positive attitude toward everything in your life. And it's true. Whatever happens, no matter what kind of challenge or trouble is on your way, I will always say, don't give up. You can do it. It's going to be just fine. But all of you, my dear learners, you know, learning is not easy. And it's not because you don't like the very process, but sometimes it's just a time issue. Let's face it, we are all very busy. We have our jobs, family responsibilities, and sometimes don't you just feel that you can't catch up? Me personally, there are some days when I just want to say, can you stop this planet? I'm getting off. Because life gets hectic, very often it affects our schedule, our routine, and maybe sometimes it even changes our circumstances. And we have nothing better to do than accept it and adapt to a new situation that just happened. Is it easy? You know the answer. So today, let's talk about how can we keep our learning habits in line with constantly changing world around us, and how to stay possibly focused without getting overwhelmed. It's obvious that if you are learning something new, let's say a foreign language, English, Arabic, Chinese maybe, you have a solid reason for it. Maybe you need English for your work. Perhaps you moved to an area where people speak a different language. So to be a part of this community, or even just to function normally, you need to speak the language. Fortunately, and I'm very proud of you if you do, you are learning it not just because you have to, but because you want to. You are enjoying the process, and you're doing that with a great pleasure. However, having a positive view doesn't make learning easier. Make no mistakes here. Nobody promised you an effortless walk in the beautiful park. Remember? We have talked about it in the very first episode. Learning is challenging. The theme we want to develop today is this. We need to have realistic expectations. Other words, Be realistic with what you expect from yourself. Why is it important? You see, friends, I have a news for you. We are imperfect. Not really a news. We are imperfect, which means that we cannot be ideal. We cannot do everything right. We cannot always make a good decisions. And that is huge, seriously. Human beings are not perfect, and we need to face it. It's a fact, and this is a reality. So, to be realistic means to be aware of these limitations, to be aware of the fact that no matter how hard you work, no matter how much time you study, no matter how much you want to learn something, and even no matter how much you enjoy learning, you will stumble, you will make mistakes, you will feel that you are not progressing and you are stuck, and sometimes you will think that you have no results. All of it is a reality because imperfect people cannot do everything perfectly. I want you to really think about it right now. Let's do a test. I'm going to ask you some questions and you can answer yes or no. Do you often think that no matter how hard you try, you are never good enough? Do you get angry when someone criticizes you? When things go wrong, do you blame yourself and call yourself stupid? If you want something to be done right, do you feel that you have to do it yourself? Are you afraid of failure that you don't even want to start something? If the answer to one of these questions is yes, then welcome to the club called perfectionism. Needless to say that perfectionism is a cruel master. 7 years ago, when I was doing the research about roots of perfectionism, I stumbled upon the book of Miriam Adderhold and Jan Kohlberg, the book called Perfectionism: What's Bad About Being Too Good? The book is very informative and I like how it says here, perfectionism is not a disease. You didn't catch it. You were not born with it. So how did you end up being a perfectionist? Some experts believe that perfectionism develops during childhood. Family pressure, self-pressure, social pressure, media pressure, and unrealistic role models combine in a big push that propels some people into a lifetime of worrying, feeling guilty, and working too hard. So, what is a perfectionism and why it can harm you? Perfectionism is often defined as the need to be or appear to be perfect, or even to believe that it's possible to achieve perfection. Instead of being proud of your progress, learning, or hard work, you might constantly compare your work to the work of others. You focus on the end product rather than the process of learning. And sometimes it's difficult to be happy for others who are successful. It is typically viewed as a positive trait rather than a flaw. People even may use the term healthy perfectionism. I don't think so. Most people want to achieve success, and that's normal. But you see, there is a difference. Working hard to reach your goals doesn't always indicate perfectionistic behavior. Perfectionism is not the same thing as striving or trying to be your best. The desire to do and be better is normal. That's healthy. Perfection is not about healthy achievement and growth. Perfectionism is all about being perfect to achieve this impossible goal. And it's true that perfectionists, they have high standards. They are high achievers. And it seems like in life they do get success in sports or in business. But the dark side here is that they're never really happy with what they achieved. Because as perfectionists, they don't really believe they are doing well. So when I said that perfectionism is a cruel master, it is true. Because the person, no matter how successful he is, how much he knows, how much he can do, how perfect he is not able to realize that. He will never be happy with what he has. It's like trying to catch the wind. It's kind of fun in the beginning, but at the end of the day, you are tired with nothing in your hand. Now, how can we apply all of it to us learners? Let's start with the goal. We want to speak the language and to understand when others speak. Realistic? Yes, pretty much. What could be a sign of a perfectionism here? Well, if you say, I want to speak like a native, or I want to speak without an accent. I hear students saying that all the time. And these are not realistic goals, guys. I mean, I'm not saying that that's impossible, but I just don't really think you should expect from yourself such a high standard at the very beginning stage. And what's wrong with having an accent? Personally, I think it's very normal and even cute. Plus, if you think of it, having an accent is only showing that you speak more than one language. And I think that's cool. Next realistic goal, set a specific time for learning and try to stick to it. Does it mean, though, that you will always have time to study or practice your English every day? No, it's far from reality. But should you get upset and feel guilty about it? No. Some days you have full 30 minutes to work on your language, but there will be days when even 10 minutes is a luxury. So be realistic. It's not about perfection, it's about progressing. Even if you had 5 minutes and you learned a new phrase or you listened to a podcast for a couple of minutes, it's better than nothing. It counts. Please, let's not think like a perfectionism wants us to think. It's either everything or nothing. No. Every minute you spend practicing counts. And the last one, guys. Some students truly believe that if they learn all the grammar, only then they can speak fluently with no mistakes. Is it realistic? Far from it. Do you really think that native speakers never make mistakes when they speak? Okay, just think about yourself. When you speak your mother tongue, do you always speak perfect? I know I don't. And believe me, native speakers, they don't expect a foreigner to speak their language perfectly. Nobody actually expects that from you, except you. So be realistic, accept that mistakes are fine, they are inevitable, it's a part of a process, it's going to happen. It doesn't mean that you are a bad student. It doesn't mean that you're stupid. It doesn't mean that you're not progressing. Mistakes are signs of learning. It's okay. Before saying goodbye, just wanted to share with you guys my personal experience. Before starting this podcast, I had my inner voice inside of me saying, "Oh, it's not gonna work. You don't know anything about podcasting. Don't even try. You have to have professional equipment," and stuff like that. But I decided to go ahead and try it. And if I need, I can always improve and get better during the process. Because nothing happens perfectly from the start. There is always room for improvement. And it brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear your feedback, guys. I'm sure you too have a story to share. Please feel free to email me to learnwithbella@gmail.com. Thanks for being here with me today. It has been a pleasure. I'm your host, Bella. Take a good care, speak English, and make sure to come back. Bye.